join me in welcoming to the stage. We have Mackenna Greene, who's from Colorado. You're going to get to hear her story in just a minute. And we also have an amazing Chelsea Mynyk, who is a nurse practitioner, is also certified as a midwife, also in the state of Colorado. And these women are both on the front lines to discuss and to defend what it looks like to have life-affirming healthcare in this culture. And so we're going to dive in. Welcome. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming here from Colorado. Chelsea, I want to start with you. And I know, as I mentioned, you actually, I think when you were 2 years old, you told me you heard your baby sister's heartbeat for the first time. A midwife was there with your mom, and at 2 years old, which is amazing, you were convicted that you wanted to do that one day. And so you became a nurse practitioner, and then you got certified as a midwife, and you started your own clinic, Castle Rock Women's Center. And tell us a little bit about Castle Rock. I want everyone here to know a little bit more about not just your medical practice, but sort of the ministry side of it as well.
Yes, well, thank you for having me here to just share my heart and passion for women and how to empower women. And that's our ministry and our mindset at Castle Rock Women's Health. We offer our services for free to low cost there, so we can help every woman that comes through our doors. We offer excellent medical services, including well women's exams, prenatal care. We also offer the amazing abortion pill reversal, which is one of my favorite parts of my practice. And then we also go above and beyond that, where if a mom is in need, we can offer more basic things. We had one mom that had multiple children that lost her vehicle, and that was one of her stressors in deciding to keep her baby or not. So we actually donated our minivan to her because she had so many kids, she needed a van. There's just different opportunities like that we see, and then God is always faithful in providing in how we offer these services.
I love that. I know you also throw baby showers for your clients. You give gift cards to get when they need gas. You meet women where they are so they don't feel alone, so that they know they're empowered in their physical needs, whatever that might be. You solve those problems so they can walk through pregnancy and choose motherhood. And I just love that. You mentioned abortion pill reversal. Is one of your more favorite parts of your practice. And Aaron, I know you alluded to abortion pill reversal in the last session. Chelsea, for those of us that aren't as familiar with what exactly abortion pill reversal is, could you explain sort of how it works and how it's administered?
Sure. So to understand the abortion pill reversal, we need to understand the abortion pill. So the abortion pill is a 2-drug protocol. The first drug is called mifepristone, and that's a progesterone antagonist, meaning it blocks progesterone receptors. And then the second medication is called misoprostol, and that induces contractions. So with mifepristone blocking progesterone, progesterone is needed for the pregnancy to continue. When that's blocked, the baby dies off. And then the misoprostol has the mom expel that now dead baby. With the reversal, we're able to use high doses of progesterone to combat the effects of mifepristone. And hopefully, 64 to 68% of the time, we can successfully reverse the effects of that. We've had close to over 7,000 babies saved from this protocol, which is amazing.
Amazing. And I just want to emphasize that. Think about that. Over 7,000 young babies saved, and their moms and their dads and their families forever changed. And that's in large part due to the amazing work of Heartbeat International and their abortion pill reversal network. I know Jarrell and Danielle are here, and what an amazing life-changing work that is. And McKenna, I want to bring you into this story. Take us back to New Year's Eve, 2023. You had just found out that you were pregnant, and you were a little scared.
Just a little. No, while everybody else was ready to celebrate and ring in the new year and really embrace that, I was convinced I was walking into the worst year of my life. And I was struck with the fear of failing my toddler, failing my partner, and failing this new baby that I was going to be having on the way. So I have all these walls. I can't see over them. I'm just unable. And I had to make that snap decision. I have to get an abortion. I have to do this the quickest, easiest way that I can. That's the only choice that I have. And anytime that I would find myself thinking about the sin that I was committing, anytime that I was having to imagine what that baby would look like in the future, I would just shut my brain off and I would tell myself to not think about it and to just do it, so that way I could disassociate from what I was doing as best I could.
Right. So you were able to order these abortion drugs online, right? Tell us
Yes.
how, because you never even talked to a human person about them, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I made that snap decision. I needed to get this done as quickly as possible so that way I could continue to disassociate. And I went online. I found a couple different companies. I picked the one that could deliver the fastest to me. That way I could get it over and done with. Delivered in about 2 days and came in a little box. The extent of what I had to do was give the last date of my menstrual cycle and snap a picture of me with my driver's license. The box was shipped, delivered, and I took that first pill.
How did you feel after you took the first pill?
Immediate regret. I knew that I didn't want to take that pill, but I had to keep telling myself that I was doing this for me, my toddler, my partner, my family, that this was the only decision that I could make. I didn't have an option here, and I was heartbroken. I remember being at the kitchen table, taking that pill, and just going upstairs and laying in bed and crying for the night. So that was what had happened.
And I know the next day, that continued. You continued to cry, and it was very difficult day on Friday. Tell us about that and what happened.
Friday, as Chelsea had alluded earlier, the second set of the pill, I was scheduled to take roughly 24 hours after taking that first pill. So, I'm within an hour of having to complete that abortion. And all of a sudden, my daughter's guardian angel walks in the door. And that's my mom. She had surprised me at my house. She was uninvited but not unwelcome. She was just a surprise. And I'd been crying that entire day. And she walks in, she looks at me, and she goes, "You're pregnant, aren't you?" And I just cried, and I said, "I don't know if I am anymore." And she just looked so confused. And she's like, "What do you mean by that?" And so I explained that I'd taken the first pill in that abortion protocol and that I needed to take the second one to complete that. And she just looked at me. "Is that what you want?" "No, it's not. I just feel like I have to." And she said, "Well, I'm a problem solver. Let's solve this. Can we reverse it?" She's very good at problem solving, and she's watching my 3-year-old and, helping direct me on just Googling, what can we do here? And abortion pill reversal was the first option that had popped up to kind of help me. I clicked them. I clicked the number. I don't even think I read the full page. I just clicked the first number I found and was shaking in the bathroom, waiting to see if I'd get an automated line, if I'm going to be directed this way, that way. And a real person answered that call immediately. And they were welcoming, they were loving, and they were non-judgmental. And I think that was such a warm experience compared to the sterile one that I had encountered thus far with dealing with that abortion process.
Well, and so you talked to a young woman on the line, and what did she do? Who did she connect you with?
She, bless her heart, connected me with Chelsea. It was a late Friday night, and I was asking, what does this process look like? And she said, "I'm going to connect you with a provider as close as I can to you. They're going to reach out." I was like, "What does that timeline look like? Am I looking at Monday, since it's now technically after hours?" And she said, I can't commit to a time, but I'm going to do everything in my power to get you connected with who you need to get connected to. And less than an hour later, Chelsea gives me a call. Again, this is a Friday night. She could have been doing so many other things. And she called me. She took a pulse for the situation, was very reassuring and calming, and again, non-judgmental. And she just wanted to help. She wanted to save that baby. She called me in a prescription of progesterone, and I went and picked it up. And she went that extra mile and said, "I would love to see you tomorrow morning in my clinic. Can you make it up to me?" Again, a Saturday morning. I don't know of any clinician providers that are open on weekends personally. So again, she just really took that extra mile to make sure that I was well taken care of.
And how did you feel? I know you went to see Chelsea on Saturday. You had an ultrasound there. How did you feel after that? What were the next few days, few months like after that?
It was a whirlwind of emotions. Upon seeing that first ultrasound, she printed out a picture and she wrote hope on that for me, to really instill, to hang it up, look at it, and know that God would handle this process here and now. And I saw her on and off, over the course of the next few months, and she hosted a baby shower for me. She was always, willing to drive down to me to meet me where I was at. She truly went above and beyond in every regard. If I was feeling down on one day, she'd send me a Cold Stone gift card. So blessed.
Well, the progesterone worked. And on August 27th of last year, you had a beautiful baby girl named Sayla. I think we have a picture of baby Sayla. There she is. McKenna, what was that moment? I know you had a C-section with her. What was that moment like when she was placed into your arms?
The best way I can describe it is she was God's gift to me. He gave me that second chance at being her mom and being able to look this little girl in the eye and say, I'm sorry I didn't fight for you at first, but I'm going to fight for you for the rest of your life. And that is my promise to you. I'm going to raise you to love God, to know him, because he gave me you. He let me have you. So
Second chance. I love that. God is so faithful. And Chelsea, I want to ask you, what was that moment like for you? I know you got to see Sayla not too long after she was born. What was it like to see her, to walk McKenna through this? Tell us your thoughts.
I think it's hard to put into words what that feeling was like. I feel like it's just a taste of heaven, what you get to see, that life that you were able to be a part of saving, and just even McKenna, and just seeing her embrace motherhood like that was something so beautiful.
It's amazing. Well, Aaron, significant pivot. You would think that Colorado or any state would think this is incredible. This is pro-woman. It's actually very pro-choice, giving women this option to protect their baby if they decide and regret starting an abortion process. And yet Colorado doesn't think so. They're not only trying to prevent people like Chelsea from talking about and offering APR, they're also saying it's completely banned in the state. You cannot offer this at all. So not talking about it and not offering it. How are they getting away with this? There's other states that are doing. Break it down for us. This sounds blatantly illegal.
It is. And I think you really hit the nail on the head. I've heard Chelsea say that it's easier in Colorado and a lot of states to have an abortion, to kill your child, than it is to have that second chance and just take progesterone. And I think the reason is that it really does destroy this narrative that abortion is all about choice. It's not about choice when you refuse to let women know there might be a chance to change their mind. It's not about choice when you ban a life-saving procedure. And so what Colorado has done is say, you can't speak about it. You can't even advertise about APR. There's scientific evidence that backs it up. As Chelsea said, studies show that it's between 64 and 68% effective. It doesn't always work, but it might. And women deserve that. They deserve real health care. They deserve a chance to change their mind. And that's what Chelsea's doing. That's what McKenna has been blessed with, to be a mom again. And so we sued the state of Colorado and have an injunction where Chelsea is able to provide APR, to speak about it, and we're so thankful.
That's amazing. And what is the penalty? This is crazy to me. Talk about the penalty for a minute.
Yes, this is crazy. So these are pregnancy care centers. These are nurse practitioners. These are people like Chelsea who here donated her own minivan. And yet, if you provide APR and the state comes after you, you can be fined $10,000 for every occurrence. It's just insane.
I find that, well, McKenna, having been benefited, your life forever changed by APR. How does this law in Colorado make you feel?
Honestly, it feels like an attack on women. It feels like a war on women. Colorado claims to be pro-choice. However, they're denying a woman's choice to change their mind. Make it make sense. It it is enraging and it is unfair for them to discriminate against one group of women that wants to save their baby. I was told essentially, in a nutshell, that my baby's life didn't matter as much because I had decided to pursue the abortion, the chemical abortion. And I don't think that one baby's life should be discounted just for that reason.
Right. Well, and Chelsea, an anonymous complaint was actually filed against you for providing this amazing progesterone therapy. And you took the step to decide to sue Colorado. Talk to us about what that was like for you to know that a key part of your practice was at risk.
Yes, I was devastated, to say the least, when I received that notice from the State Board of Nursing that my license is on the line. I may not be able to practice medicine anymore and offer services to women, and the fines that they're looking at putting on us. It was really a dark place, but I knew that this was something God called me to do, and I was so thankful that I reached out to Heartbeat International. They directed me to Alliance Defending Freedom, and ADF was thankfully happy to come alongside me and support me to where I could get that injunction and continue to practice. And we'll just see what God does from here.
Well, I'm glad. We're so grateful again for Heartbeat, just an amazing, amazing organization. Erin, talk about, Colorado's not the only state doing this. And so what does the future look like in terms of the state and the sort of the status of Chelsea's case, but also more broadly, how can all of us here today, how can we in our own spheres of influence advocate and talk about this beautiful life-saving treatment?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, support your pregnancy centers that support people like Chelsea, that support women in such wonderful, powerful ways. And then for those of you that are policymakers or state officials, you can issue your own consumer notices and explaining what APR is. And doesn't work all the time, but it often does. And there's real science behind it. There are countless things we can do to come alongside and support centers like Chelsea's. And in the litigation space, for example, California and New York have sued Heartbeat and NIFLA respectively, precisely because those centers, or those organizations and the centers they support advertise APR. Those government officials, those attorney generals say that the very term abortion pill reversal is misleading, and they can shut you down if you say it. But that picture of that little girl, of Sayla, says something very different, and women deserve to know they have a second chance.
Chelsea, you mentioned hope, and you also wrote hope on McKenna's first ultrasound picture. McKenna and Sayla were your first saves. You've had 2 more saves since then. I know you'll have more in the future. What is your hope as we move forward?
Yes, I love the word hope. I think God gave me that word early on in my career. I think of it as having your hands open, prayerfully expecting. We don't know what God's going to do or how he's going to work. I was praying even before this whole lawsuit that somehow we could create more awareness of this life-saving option of abortion pill reversal. Little did I know God was going to use a lawsuit and I'd be speaking in front of hundreds of people, but we don't know how God's going to work, but he works in a beautiful way, as we can see with McKenna and baby Sayla.
I love that, and I love that acronym, hands open, prayerfully expecting. Such a convicting way to live out our lives and in every aspect of our lives. And McKenna, I want to kind of come to you now, and in this moment, your life has been really changed so powerfully this past year. And what do you want folks to know? What do you want folks to know about Chelsea? What do you want folks to know about abortion pill reversal? What's on your heart this morning?
I would love for people to know that Chelsea is my savior. God intentionally placed her in my life so that way I could raise my daughter to know and love God in the same way. And I'm so looking forward to the lifelong friendship that her and I are going to have moving forward. But to any woman that is considering an abortion and is unsure about their options, I can't encourage you enough to reach out to Heartbeat, to abortion pill reversal. I don't know your story. I know mine. And I know that if there was someone there to help me, there's absolutely going to be someone out there to help you. And we want to get you that help.
And I hope all of you see that our conviction, when we contend for truth, it doesn't just have consequences, earthly consequences. It has eternal consequences. And Chelsea's work, she didn't just save Sayla, this little baby. She also gave McKenna a chance to know the Lord again and to redeem her life and to live this beautiful life as a mother to two beautiful and precious children. You know, the name of this session is the power of life-affirming medical care. So, McKenna, I have a question. Would you like to introduce our audience today to your baby, Sayla, and to your guardian angel, your mom, Trisha?
I would love that.
Can we have them on stage? There we are. You want to go? Here, you go. Go get her. Go get the baby. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being here. Baby Sayla is just a beautiful blessing.